When you're in the NBA, fans and players either love or hate you, or if you're an average player, you likely fall in between. There are many reasons why so many people like a certain NBA player, whether it be his unselfishness, his play style, or whether or not he's a good locker room guy. But on the flip side, there are a lot of reasons why people hate other NBA players, whether it be their attitude, their play style, or whether or not they're a selfish player, or if they're a good teammate. In this video, we're going to be talking about a couple of players who most of the league and most fans dislike. I mean, they may have a lot of fans, but they also have a lot of haters. Let me know if you want me to make another video on the most loved NBA players in the comments below. But with all that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's jump into the video. The first player that many fans and NBA players alike hate is Patrick Beverley. See, the thing about Patrick Beverley is that you love his story, that he was an underdog and somehow made it to the league, and you would love if he was your teammate. I mean, who wouldn't want that defensive prowess, that lockdown defense, that all up in your face mentality, and that not back down mentality? Everyone would love that if you were on his team, but for the rest of the league, everyone hates that. I mean, there are numerous plays to point towards Beverley being a dirty player, whether it be Beverley trying to take out Westbrook's knees on multiple occasions, or him knocking Dennis Smith Jr.'s teeth out in a game, or him just punking on Lonzo Ball in his first game in the league just because he didn't like his dad LeVar Ball. Another aggravating part of his game is that he continually flops just to try and get a call. I mean, we saw it against James Harden a few days ago against the Rockets, and we also saw it against players like Jason Tatum this season as well. In fact, he's been flopping so much this season that he was hit with a $5,000 fine a couple days ago. However, love him or hate him, you can't deny the fact that every night in and every night out, that he gives you 100% on the court. I mean, sure, he's not the best offensive player, only shooting 37.5% from the field, but he more than makes up for it on the defensive end. He's one of the more above average to elite defenders at the point guard position, which is hard to find in the league. And while that tough, alpha style mentality may deter people from liking him, it's safe to say that a lot of his teammates like him. They like the intensity he brings to the game, they like the intensity he brings to practice, and I'm sure that he makes most of his teammates better having to work against him in practice. Another name on this list, which should be no surprise to people, is actually Patrick Beverley's arch nemesis, Russell Westbrook. Westbrook is one of the most polarizing players in the NBA today. I mean, some fans swear their allegiance to him, saying that he's the best point guard in the league. He's averaged a triple-double for 3 straight seasons, which no one else has done. He plays 100% every night on both ends of the court, and he has a motor that never stops running. He also has an alpha mentality, which some reminisce to Kobe Bryant. Even Kobe himself has said Russ is a dog and that he shares the same mentality as him, so why would anyone hate him? Well, for the same reasons that people love him, they also hate Russ. I mean, his shot selection is sometimes so bad. I mean, I'm a Westbrook fan myself, but some of the shots that he takes are some of the most boneheaded shots I've ever seen. I mean, there's like 20 seconds left on the shot clock, he dribbles up and just takes a pull-up 30-footer which barely reaches the rim. People also argue that Westbrook also chases rebounds at the expense of defense. I mean, there are numerous plays where Westbrook just leaves his man open and tries to go for the rebound, or he actually steals the rebound from his opposing center. Some argue that it's so that Russ can start the fast break, while others swear he's just stealing the rebounds. That's up to you. However, the thing that people get on Westbrook for the most is his lack of playoff success as a number one option. I mean, if you look at his 3 years in OKC without Kevin Durant, the team failed to make it past the first round every single year. However, love him or hate him, you can't deny the fact that Westbrook is one of the most talented players in the league, and definitely in the top 3 point guards in the NBA. The one thing that Westbrook has to do to shut the haters up is basically win an NBA championship as the first or second option on a team. Moving on to the next player is actually someone who's very close by to Westbrook, and we're going to be talking about his teammate James Harden. Believe it or not, although Harden seems like a pretty mellow player, he seems like a pretty low-key guy, a lot of NBA players and a lot of NBA fans hate him because of the way he plays basketball. When you look at the highlights, it seems like Harden is an offensive juggernaut. I mean, he has the most unstoppable move in the league, arguably, with his step back. He also has the handle to break you down and blow by you for the layup, but he also has the explosiveness to finish over or around defenders as well. However, the thing that aggravates fans and NBA players alike is his ability to get to the free throw line. Many people swear that he's bending the rules and he's exploiting a rule, and he's basically making it so that no NBA player can basically touch him without getting called for a foul. Some people swear that it's because Harden is just that good of an offensive player, and I mean the stats back it up. He's averaging 12.2 free throws per game and 14.2 attempts, which is by far and wide the most in the league. In addition to this, Harden is also averaging a by far league leading 38 points per game, which I think is absolutely spectacular, but a lot of fans are taking for granted. We're witnessing an unstoppable offensive juggernaut, and yet people are still criticizing the way he scores the ball and the way he gets his points. People hate his playstyle, straight up. I mean, no one wants to see a game of just isolations, a game of just dribble the ball 20 plus times and then step back for a 3 and make the ball, or either dribble 20 plus times and draw a foul and get a bunch of free throws. I mean, sure, it's not an entertaining way of getting points, but he's still putting up numbers, and I fully respect him for that. Hate him or love him, Harden is going to go down as one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, and I feel a lot of people are taking what he's doing now for granted, and that we should just appreciate greatness. Speaking of hating on greatness, if I were to put a player on this list year in and year out, it would definitely be LeBron James. Let's get straight to the facts here. LeBron is universally known as one of the best, if not the best player in the NBA and one of the most respected players in the league. However, it doesn't mean that he's one of the most liked players, by fans and players alike. Many love LeBron because of the consistency he's brought to his game for the past 17 years. They also love him because he makes the game so much easier to play when he's on your team. People also love him because of his off-court stuff as well, but there's a lot to dislike about LeBron as well, whether it be his laid-back approach to the game, whether it be him coasting in the NBA regular season and not giving it his all, or whether or not you just dislike his success. I mean, some people are jealous of him going to the finals for however many years, and that he's been one of the best players in the league for such a long time. Whether you love him or hate him, it's tough to deny that he is one of the greatest, if not the greatest player of all time. I mean, he's up there with some of the greatest players ever, and I don't think he's gonna step down until he wants to step down. He can play until 40 if he wants to at the rate he's going. And finally, to round off this list is someone you may not have expected because he's such an average NBA player, but the person I'm talking about is Marcus Smart. Much like Patrick Beverley, but to a much higher extent, Marcus Smart has made a living off of defense. I mean, he's not the best offensive player, and it's safe to say he's not a good offensive player at all. I mean, the stats back it up as well. He's only shooting 39.4% from the field this season and 34.2% from the three-point line, but this isn't the reason why NBA players hate him. It's because of his style of play and his rugged defense. Marcus Smart is the type of player who won't back down. Although he's undersized, he is extremely sturdy, standing at 227 pounds, which means he's super hard to move with his lower center of gravity. He's also a physical defender and isn't afraid to get up in your face. Marcus Smart has even guarded 1 through 4 when needed. And the most aggravating part of his game, the most anger-inducing part of his game for both fans and both players alike, is when he does his ridiculous flopping. I mean, he has the flop of the decade in my opinion. We all know what play I'm talking about, the play where he tried to go for a rebound against the Atlanta Hawks and just flew like a fish out of water, like just a dolphin jumping out of the water or something. He flew like 10 feet in the air and barely got touched. However, much like Patrick Beverley, Smart is an essential part to the Celtics' success as he's the heart of the defense, which makes him one of the most loved players in Boston. I mean, without him, who knows what the Boston defense would look like. But with all that being said, let me know in the comments below who you hate the most in the NBA, and for what reason. And also let me know if I should make a video on the most loved NBA players in the NBA as well. Thank you guys so much for the support. We're at 142 subscribers, and can we get to 150? I really think so. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe as well, turn on post notifications. Have a good Thanksgiving, and have a good day or night, wherever you are.